Hi, this is Dawn Reby from Excellence in Analytics, and today we are talking about why so many people get derailed from reaching their goals and how we can fix it with a burning desire. So, I see people all the time setting these goals and flip-flopping. Like, have you ever gone on vacation, right? Or wanted to plan a vacation maybe to the islands, and you're like, oh, that's exactly where I want to go. I'm so set on going there. I can't wait to go there. I want to go to, the Bahamas or Bermuda, whatever it might be. And then somebody says, ooh, there was a storm down there. And you flip your mind and you say, well, I don't want to go down there, right? I don't want to go there. I don't want to experience that. And you put this different message out to the universe, right? Or maybe you say, I want a job in leadership, right? Like I want a job as a supervisor, building something at a police agency. And that's what I really want. I want to up level to sergeant or lieutenant or captain or deputy chief or even chief. Or maybe you say to yourself, I want to run an analytical unit, and you're really set on becoming that leader. But then you talk to a leader who says, hey, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Being a leader is not the greatest thing. And you start thinking and changing your mind and saying, oh gosh, I don't want to be a leader. We flip-flop between these different ideas. And so when we flip-flop, we're telling the universe all kinds of confusing messages. And so we're not going to achieve the goals that we want. We select these goals randomly or haphazardly, or maybe we have a thought about it and we say, oh, that would be really nice to do that. But we haven't really developed the vision, developed that burning desire. So there's this quote by Napoleon Hill that says, if your desires are strong enough, you will appear to possess superhuman powers to achieve. And the problem is we don't have strong superhuman focus, right, to achieve, because our burning desire is not clear to us. I see this all the time in law enforcement and outside of law enforcement, right? And so in order to cultivate this burning desire and not flip-flop back and forth, we really need to get clear on the why, the what we want. And let me give you an example. So Mind Valley, Vishaan Lakhiani teaches this concept of focus, right? And so he shares this story about a typist. And the typist, now this is back maybe in the 80s when typing into a computer was different than how it is now. So just kind of like put that box around this story. So this data entry clerk says to Vishaan, or says to the leader, can you teach me how to type faster? And Vishaan says, well, why do you need to type faster? And she says, because I get paid by the hour. And if I type more, then I'm going to get paid more money, right? And so he says, well, why do you want to get paid more money? Why do you want to get paid more money? And so she says, okay, so I want to get paid more money because I want to see my bank account grow. I see so many people say this. I want more money. I want more money. We don't know why. We just want more money, right? And so I want to see my bank account grow. And so Vishaan says, why? Why do you want your bank account to grow? And, she says, well, because I want to move to this house in Brooklyn. I want to buy a house in Brooklyn, right? And that's my dream, to buy this beautiful house in Brooklyn. And he says, well, why do you want to buy a house in Brooklyn? And then she starts thinking about this. Why Brooklyn? Why do I want to buy a house there? Right. And it's really her origin location. And she wants to return back to her roots. And she says, my mom is in Detroit and she's not in a safe area. And and so I want to bring her to Brooklyn with me back to her roots too, so that we can really the family can be together. And she has all this memorabilia in her house, our family legacy. The history of our family goes back to the Civil War. And my mom has been collecting all of these memorabilia about our family. And so I want to bring her and that memorabilia to our house in Brooklyn, to this new house in Brooklyn. And so Vishaan says, we're getting so close. We're getting so close. Why do you want this memorabilia in your home? Why do you want your mom in your home? Why Brooklyn? Why do you want all this? And she says, well, someday I want to have kids. Someday I want to have a daughter and I want to help her see the legacy of our family. I want her to grow up around my mom and the things that I was able to receive as a child. And I want her to see the memorabilia in her home and be deeply connected to our roots, right? So Vashon says, this is your why. You want to have your family together. You want to preserve your family legacy. You want to turn this over to your daughter. Why are you wasting your time focusing on data entry? Why are you wasting your time focusing on data entry? And so, the moral behind this story is we focus on the what's right in front of us, in her case, the data entry, because we're not focused on that bigger vision. So if she's focusing on the data entry and then she loses her job, right? She's going to have some other focus. And now the focus is getting a new job. Should it be in data entry? Like, what should I do, right? And so what Vashon is really saying here is that when we focus on the bigger picture, which is, in her case, building that legacy, that environment for her daughter someday where she's raised by her and her mom and she has community and family around her, that bigger vision, when we have that bigger focus in our lives, then the way that we get there, whether or not it's through data entry, whether or not it's through an inflated bank account, the way that we get there comes to us. We're so crystal clear on where we're going that the how we get there is evolving with us. And so I ask you, what is it in your life right now that you're focused on? What immediate thing are you focused on? I'll give you an example of what it looks like in law enforcement. A lot of times folks are really focused on, let's say, getting a certification, a particular certification, or getting a specific graduate degree or something like that, right? A degree that they think is going to equip them. And so we say, okay, so why are you getting certification? Why are you getting this degree? Why are you taking this lieutenant's test, right? And so they say, because I want to become a lieutenant, because I want to become a certified crime analyst, because I want to have, more education under my belt. And I ask them, well, why? Why do you want to become a certified crime analyst? Why do you want to become a lieutenant? So let's go with the certified crime analyst, which I think is a wonderful goal to have, right? So why do you want to become a certified crime analyst in this data evolved world of policing? And so, some folks that I work with will say, I want to become certified because I want to build my confidence. Okay, so let's talk about that. What is it about your confidence that you need to build, and why do you feel like you need to build it? And then we start digging into these, client stories. And I'm so thankful for all the folks I get to work with because, it really is a pleasure to dig deep into some of these underlying paradigms and help them understand, why is it that you need to get this certification? And why is it that you need this? And so when we dig deep, we often find that it's a couple of key problems, challenges that they're dealing with. It's a lack of confidence. They don't feel professional enough. There's younger people coming into the field and they want the upper hand. And so when we dig really deeper and deeper and deeper, it boils down to what's going to fulfill them and what tools do they need to hold on to and to grab that's going to help fulfill them in their career. And so their fulfillment could be in leadership, right? But digging into the why, right? Because, you want to use all this knowledge and skill that you have to help lift the industry. I think about my why. I think about the global shift that I'm working on personally in how the data analytics field is viewed and utilized by the professional environment in policing, right? So how do we shift the entire field so that we are globally considered a professionalized industry that warrants the funding, the regular training, the professionalism that goes along with a very professional industry. And so when I put that goal of global acknowledgement, global uprising of the field, then all of these things start coming in my way. That I never even imagined. I never imagined a partnership with Europe. I never imagined a partnership with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, with IATLIS, BJA, ISTAP, Saudi Arabia. I never could have imagined these things. The only thing that I could imagine and get clear on was my burning desire to shift the way law enforcement does business and how to professionalize that field globally, right? So I ask you, Are you going back and forth, right? Are you, trying to figure out what you're trying to do? Like when you go into a restaurant, you don't say to yourself, you don't say, hey, to the waiter, I want a pizza, right? And then you say, okay, great, we'll go tell the chef, and the chef starts making a pizza, and then you say, excuse me, waiter, I'd actually like soup. I'm in the mood for warm tomato soup. So the waiter goes back to the chef and says, stop that pizza and let's start soup. So the chef throws out the pizza and starts making the soup from scratch. And the waiter says, no problem to you. We'll make you some nice soup. And then you say, excuse me, waiter, I changed my mind and I actually want spaghetti, right? And so the waiter says, no problem. We'll go make you some spaghetti. So he goes to the back with the chef. The chef tosses out the soup and the pizza's already in the trash. And he says, okay, now I'm going to start spaghetti. We don't do that, right? We don't do that in our restaurants that we go to typically. But why do we do that in our lives? Why do we, think about the pizza, the spaghetti, the soup, instead of the satisfaction of the meal with the family and friends that we really enjoy being with, right? Why do we focus so much on the here and now and not so much on that burning desire? So if you're listening to this and you're saying to yourself, okay, I got some thinking to do. I got some thinking to do because I don't think about that end game. I don't think about that result. I don't even know how to begin to think about that result. Start with a brain dump, just get really, really quiet. And this might take some time, but think about what do you want? If you're a police chief listening to this, what does it look like for your agency to be functioning to its maximum optimized capacity? What culture are you envisioning? And don't let limitation seep in. Don't let limiting beliefs seep into your thinking. Things happen twice. First, they happen in your mind, and then they happen in reality. So get ultra, super clear, crystal clear about that bigger vision. Spend the time thinking about that bigger vision, that burning desire, what you want to be true. Articulate it so well that the people and the opportunities that align with that vision, that align with that burning desire, come true. And so with burning desire, with the three ingredients rather for success, you have that burning desire, right? You are clear on that burning desire. Then the next step would be that ultimate belief that it can happen. This can happen. This kind of vision of yours can actually happen. And then finally, expectancy, that you are so confident that it'll come true. You are the voice of confidence that it will come true. So those are the three focus areas to work on: that burning desire, that belief that it can be true, and that the expectancy that it will be true. And if you need some work with this, I work with clients all over the globe to help them get crystal clear on what they want to achieve, and then design the action steps that it needs to happen in order to achieve that. So we set that burning desire, we set that vision, we get real crystal clear on that, and then we engineer that goal backwards and all the things that need to happen across time to help that come true. So if this was helpful for you, if this was inspiring and motivating for you, go ahead and click subscribe below and share this with someone that you think might enjoy building their burning desire as well. See you next time.